Lock in America! It's time for Straight Talk! This is the Wayne Dupree Podcast, hosted by Wayne Dupree, with co-host Jason Robertson, delivering powerful opinions, arty debates on politics, entertainment, and the hottest stories. No spin, just honest takes and real conversation! The Wayne Dupree Podcast is lit! Let's get into it right now.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. It is July 29th, 2026. You're watching the Dupree Report. I'm glad to have each and every one of you here with us. Hopefully, y'all are having a beautiful day. Hopefully, the sun is shining outside and y'all been able to walk outside and get some of it. Hopefully, you're not sitting around watching the spectacle that's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. So, before we even get to that, I want to give a shout out to Red Voice Media. Don't forget to check out rbmnews.com and also talkred.com. Let's see. Are we broadcasting on Facebook today?
It was there before you launched, and then it went away. Yeah,
Facebook. Look at that. Facebook. So we are broadcasting on you. Are we on Rumble?
Oh yeah, I see Rumble chats. I see YouTube chats. Let me check your Facebook page.
I'm looking on there right now. Nope, it's not live on there. So, but I did put the YouTube one up there. But for some reason, it's Rumble doesn't like Getter. Oh no, Rumble doesn't like Getter, and Rumble doesn't like Facebook. So there you have it. And they don't pay. And they don't pay. So let me introduce.
They pay a little bit.
No,
they give you tip money.
They pay a little bit, but
unless you're Steven Crowder.
Steven's doing all right. Who gets his views because he's the first thing that you see when you come to the thing. It's not that people are looking him up, is that just as soon as you type in rumble.com, Steven Crowder's face is on the thing. So, yeah, whatever.
Congratulations to Crowder.
I ain't going to congratulate nothing. Okay, let me introduce Mr. Jason Robertson from Minnesota. What's up, Jason?
Hey, folks. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Dupree Report. I would say more, but I'm invoking my constitutional right of the Fifth Amendment to prevent myself from incriminating myself.
And how did I know you were going to do that?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
I mean, seriously, ladies and gentlemen,
I can't answer these questions.
Jason was going to invoke the Fifth. Why?
111 times.
111 times. I mean, I'm sure that's not a record, but it's up there with the best. These people get up there and that's what they do. Lois Lerner did it. I don't think the former AG. No, he didn't even show up. Lois Lerner did it. I think Fauci was talkative the first time that he was up there. He's not talkative now, but I think the first time that he was up there, he was talkative. Mostly people, when they get up there, they just invoke it. And these lawmakers still get campaign videos, I remember a long time ago when I was growing up, and my parents always told me, don't fight, just walk away. And there are many times that I walked away. Many times. There's one time I blew up, and it was so cold that when I grabbed the bully and put him up against a pole, the girl that I was walking with said she saw smoke coming out of my ears. but it was actually so cold that she couldn't see me talking, and my breath was coming and it was going that way. So it actually looked
She
like
thought you were quite the thing. She's
it,
like,
it looked like a freaking cartoon thing with the smoke coming out of your ears type of thing. But the reason why I say that is because hanging with my friends a few times after a couple of these type of situations, they were like, how do you just walk away? How do you just walk away? Because honestly, you make the other people look stupid. I said, I do? Yeah. That's what they said. Yeah, you make them look stupid because they're walking behind you, they're talking to you, they're trying to get a rise out of you, and you're just walking away. I didn't, at the time, I didn't feel like uh, uh, that I was making them look stupid because I was feeling bad that I couldn't turn around and bang them out. But when my friends told me, dude, these people look stupid, I said, okay, great. These people look stupid. I mean, it's like they know that they ain't gonna get nothing out of this man. They ain't gonna get nothing out of anybody. They're not gonna get anybody. I mean, President Trump even gave him a presidential commendation for his exceptional efforts of Operation Warp Speed. They're not gonna get nothing out of this dude. And they can put his diaries out. They can put all that stuff out there. That's reading material. Now, Jason reminded me of the pardon yesterday. I forgot all about the pardon. Seriously, I forgot about it. You know, I'm not watching this thing. I'm not watching it. But I did see it. There are many clips. There are many clips. And these clips are for campaign situations because some of these people have campaigns within the next 3 months. Somebody was like, do you even know what the Fifth? No. Do you? Can you explain the Fifth Amendment? I vote my Fifth Amendment. Some as the Constitution. Oh, he said the Constitution. Do you know who wrote the Constitution? Do you know where the Constitution came from? Do you know what paper the Constitution was on? Why don't you give Dr. Fauci a copy of the Constitution? Let him see. Let me go into a history lesson about what the Constitution. All this is masking that y'all should have been codifying a whole lot of stuff. You should have been working on a whole lot. You should be passing the same freaking act. No, you want to have Fauci up there. Before y'all get ready to go, is July 29th. They're getting ready to go on recess. They're wasting a day on this, knowing that he wasn't going to talk, when they could have been talking about the SAVE Act. They could have been trying to do something about the SAVE Act. You got a decrepit zombie voting somehow, some way. Somehow you got to vote through for something. I don't even know what they were voting on, but somehow somebody came across my timeline. How did Mitch McConnell vote? That's how things go. You know, hey, do you give up your Fifth Amendment right yet, or you still?
Yeah, I'm ready to. And I'm glad we're not on Facebook because I'm going to share a couple stories from the pandemic, and just to kind of let everybody know where we're at. I'm going to share three stories. Story one: my father-in-law was old. In his late 80s. I forget how old he was. It's been several years ago. His brain was going. My wife and I had to move him up from Florida to Minnesota. We had to get him in an old folks home. And right about that time when it was happening was when the pandemic started, and we moved him into an old folks home, and we weren't allowed to visit him for weeks. He didn't leave his room, everything. Like they didn't even have the dining areas. And the change when somebody's old and the change they go through physically, like you move houses, like that puts a big mental toll on him. And he wasn't very social anyways. He wouldn't have engaged with a lot of people anyways. Well, without us visiting him, by the time they let us see him, he had to go to memory care
Yeah.
because his mental acuity had shrunk so far that there was just he was cooked mentally. And then, the rest of his time before he passed a couple years, he was a shell of himself. I blame Fauci for that. My son and I had a great relationship. He was in just starting high school. Everything was great. All this stuff was going on. I was on the pure blood end of things. Hey, I don't need to go out in public that much, but you're not going to lock me in the house and tell me what kind of medication I'm taking. And his mom was on the I'm going to wipe down all my groceries end of things. So she was pretty far one side, I was pretty far the other. At the end of that, my son and I, our relationship was never the same. He was apprehensive about coming to the house because we were not nearly as concerned about it as his mom was. And that was then we lost Wayne. And that hurts me to this day that coming out of that period of time, like my son's relationship with me is toast now. And then for me, I remember I got the Rona, and I was having a hard time breathing. My wife took me into the doctors, and when I was at the doctors, um, they they told me like, "Oh, you're really sick. You've got," they wanted to put me on a respirator. They wanted to give me shots that I wasn't keen on taking. I'm like, "Well, what else can we do?" Because I don't like either of those options. They said, "Well, the only other thing we can do is give you an oxygen tank, send you home, and pray." And
Mm.
I said, "I'll take that one." And I remember one of my good friends he was funny. He was a guy who wasn't going to take the Trump shot, but then after the 2020 election happened, he's like, "Well, now you got to take it," And I'm like, I don't want to. I didn't want to take it when Trump was telling us to take it, and I'm not taking it now. And then I got home, and I remember sitting, and he had texted me, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't really talk. I'm on
Yeah, wood
oxygen."
chipper.
What's that?
I just saw wood chipper up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
where.
I'm sorry.
No, that's where I'm at today with Dr. Fauci. Glad Wayne
Wood
picked up
chipper.
on it.
I
But
just saw it.
anyway, so he texted me and said I got what I deserved for not getting medical treatment. We're still like we barely talk. We were really close friends, and I'm sitting there in an oxygen tank. I got better, and I think, man, if I would have taken a shot, or if I would have went on a ventilator like they said, I'm probably not sitting here talking to everybody. So the level of rage I feel and and what I want to happen to Anthony Fauci is as strong or stronger than anybody else out there. And we're seeing in the chats people many people feel the same way. And I mean, let's face it, if you look back, the highest mortality rate by a long shot was old people. If you were young, it was pretty reasonable. If you were old or had really serious medical conditions, and we talked about it yesterday, nothing's going to come from this. And it breaks my heart saying that. It's not like I don't think there should be anything that happens. It's
Okay.
if I had the power to make something happen, I would. But the fact of the matter is, uh, it was a big scam. Everybody was in on it. I think Trump got the wool pulled over his eyes, and by the time he
Don't
knew,
have.
by the
Don't have.
time he knew what the deal was, it was like, oh my God! I mean, if you remember back in those days, just go back and watch the videos. There's some great Twitter accounts that are sharing videos like this day in 2020 kind of stuff or 2019. I mean, it was insanity, and yeah, it like the the global powers that be flex. I mean, you turned on CNN and they had a death counter on there like for months until days after the election. Then it went away, and it was just and you couldn't talk about things. Like I literally had a social media account get nuked because I posted a screenshot from the CDC website. And literally, I went on the CDC website. They were talking about the mRNA vaccines. I took a screenshot, shared on a social media page. They didn't just like delete the post, they just nuked the page. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is where we're at. Like, or I mean, Andrew Cuomo was doing all his press conferences, and I would watch and I'd look at the chart and I'd be like, wait a second. Like, all these deaths are people that are like 65 and older, like, but you couldn't say that, and it's not all for the fact checkers out there. It was just like the vast, vast, vast majority. So
I was shocked. I was shocked that happened under Trump. I could see it happening under, if it happened under Obama or if it happened under Biden, but I was shocked that it happened under Trump, because I also had some of my, I had a video. I had a huge video from the Epoch Times, 62 million, as a matter of fact, showing exactly where the Bible
they
came
nuked
from.
that thing into space.
Well, they threatened me. Because of, I mean, the thing was like an hour long, I guess, and
you made thousands.
maybe two people, maybe three people that they didn't agree with might have said something in the video, even though it was backed up. It was backed up. The stuff was backed up on the video, but Facebook was like, the whole video is bad because of these two or three people. And if you don't take it down, we're going to suspend your account. It was the only Facebook account that I had. I didn't have multiple. I mean, I had my personal page, but I was but that was a time, I think it was before Trump got in, they were taking down a whole lot of conservative accounts anyway. So I didn't want my account taken down. But I was surprised that was happening. I was like, who in the government is allowing that to happen? Or if they are seeing it happen, why don't they stop it from happening? Because a lot of people were getting nuked. A lot of just for saying, no, that's not right. No. And, I mean, now my camera got ding. But did you say you got COVID? You say you got COVID, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got it. And when I
And
went
for
to the
me,
doctor, they wanted to like put me on a respirator, start giving me shots, and I'm like, I'm not doing either of those things.
yeah, for
Thank
me,
you, good day.
I did a lot of the stuff that Trump said to do. Because Mike, what you call it? Who was vice president?
Pence.
Mike Pence was supposed to be in charge, but Trump came out every day, and Trump was telling everybody what to do and stuff. So I did a whole lot of stuff that the president was saying to do, except I did not get the shot because I don't believe in shots. Period. I don't believe in any shot. To tell you the truth, that's probably why I got shingles. But I don't even. But that's me. I'm not, and believe me, I'm not putting any
Not medical advice.
Exactly. I'm not telling y'all what to do or how to do it or when to do it. Wayne and Rob, Wayne and Wood Chipper is not telling you what to do. We're only saying what we did, and I didn't get it, but it came into the house. Somebody from the family came into the house with it, and then the next thing I know, I got it. And when I got it, I went to the doctor, and the doctor came in. I remember to this day, they gave me the IV, and they gave me something else. What was it called? I can't remember.
Probably steroids.
No, the antibody thing or
antibiotic. Ivermectin.
No. I ain't mess with that either. It was that antibody thing that they put into you, but it wasn't a vaccine. It was something else.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I forget the name. Somebody in the chat will remember.
Exactly. So before he gave that to me, he said, "Excuse, if you don't mind, why don't you want to get the shot?" I said, "Tuskegee." He said, "That's okay. You don't have to go into it." I said, "No. You want to
No,
know
I'm
about it?
happy to tell you about it.
I tell you about it. No. I understand. And I will say that after I said I didn't want to get the shot, and after they decided what they were going to do, I thought I was in trouble, Jason. I really thought I was in trouble because you don't want bubbles inside of you, right? Especially when you doing the drip thing and whatnot. You don't want bubbles inside of you. So I'm watching the liquid the whole time. I'm watching it from half. I'm watching it go down to
And you're psychotic, so you're
25%. I'm like, wait a minute. Nobody's coming to check on me. I mean, so here I am. I'm pressing the freaking thing, homie. I'm pressing the thing, and still nobody's coming. I swear that thing got all the way down to the bottom. It got all the way down to the bottom. I'm like, man, if a bubble, wait, and then somebody came in. I was like, where the blank were you? Look at this. Oh, we had shift change. I was pressing the thing for about an hour, kind of like that. But no, yeah, it was a time. There were things that I saw. Nobody on the streets, empty cities and stuff. I never
Unless it was a
thought
BLM protest.
I never thought that would ever happen. Yeah, Antifa wasn't out there. I never thought that would ever happen. I mean, but that now I saw China. I saw the streets of China, but that was before we did it. And I looked over there. I was like, damn, it doesn't even look like they got birds on the street. They were locking people in. As a matter of fact, I even think that there was a report that they were sealing people in their house.
Yeah, they were reportedly, allegedly.
Right.
They were.
So when they said, "Yeah, we're shutting down things in the United States too," I was like,
well, and I've told this story
what does that mean?
before. I've told this story before, but one of the things in my corporate life, I work with Minnesota Children's Hospital on flu prevention, and they do fundraisers, and you do like mall walks and stuff. And I remember when I first started doing it, I'm like, why do you guys make such a big deal about the flu? And this was 20 some years ago. And they go, oh, do you know about the 1918 flu, the Spanish flu pandemic? And I hadn't. And this is 10 15 years before the Rona. And so they gave me some books, and I read up on it, and I'm like I didn't know there were mass graves in the streets of Philadelphia from flu deaths, that it went wild and mutated in the trenches and came back over here. And I didn't know that. And it's like, how was I an educated person who didn't know that happened? Like, it was pretty remarkable. So I knew more than the average person did about this. And then it was interesting because I would watch a lot of, like, every now and then there'd be these stupid documentaries nobody ever watched, but like me and 100 other people that would come out. They were talking about coming up with like a permanent flu vaccine and the challenges of that, because there's like 4 different types of flu virus. One of them is a coronavirus, and every year they mutate. And then they talked about, it comes down to 3 things: how easy does it spread, how fast does it show symptoms, and then how lethal is it? And then they have little charts like, okay, of these 3 things, if it's not very lethal but it's very transmittable, that means everybody gets it, but they just get a little sick, vice versa. Like Ebola, different type of virus, but is extremely lethal. So like Ebola, you just let it burn out, it kills the people that get it. There's not a lot you can do with it. But they talked a lot about mRNA vaccines, and the big challenge. I remember I watched this documentary. This was from like 10 years before the Rona, and they're like, yeah, the problem is you put these vaccines in, it causes mutations, so your body kind of attacks it, but we just don't know how to shut it off. And so it keeps mutating. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good. Like, I'm no expert. And if you read the CDC materials on any of them, like, that's what it said. And yeah, it's but it will be I think that, you saw a lot of things, pre-Trump. Like, we believed the Republicans, a lot of us in the audience, we thought they had our best interests at heart, and we learned they didn't, and we learned, like, through the Russia hoax, how you could completely brainwash half the population to believe anything. And then Rona happened, and it was one of those instances where, for me, my biggest takeaway is there are people way more powerful than the president. Their organizations, their operations, so even when we talk about, like, Israel and the AIPAC lobby, like, yeah, I mean, are people just figuring out? I mean, the news media was in on it, Big Pharma was in on it, and we all complied, so in our own way. But it was, yeah, it was tragic. But that's why nothing's happening to Fauci. We said it yesterday at the end of the show, and I don't want to be a buzzkill. I know everybody wants a tribunals. If I was king for the day, Fauci would help me with some landscaping. I rented a wood chipper, but yeah, that's
You
not
know what? You brought up something, and it was something that I was thinking about. You probably didn't put this to what is happening today, but this is something that I was thinking about. Jason was talking about how Republicans in 2020, probably didn't have the best interest or whatnot. I don't think they had the best interest right now. And I'm not talking about them not doing their job. I'm not talking.
And we're not talking about MAGA. I mean, there's guys up there trying. We're talking about the Republican Party as a whole.
Back then, there wasn't a whole lot of MAGA in there anyway. But
right.
But I don't think that what is happening right now is the best interest of Donald Trump. And I'll tell you why. Donald Trump, whenever this comes up, whenever Operation Warp Speed comes up, I don't know if you were here before the 2024 election, Hutch and Jason and I basically just kept saying, look, President Trump, you got to stop talking about Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
You got to stop talking about it because he's proud of it. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but he's proud of it. But every time you talk about it, it really angers and pisses off MAGA base. The media takes it and runs with it. They use it as campaign material. They use it. Midterms right around the corner. Why do this now? You know what I'm saying? Why?
Yeah, 100 days till midterms.
You're going to bring this up before the whole month of August. They're probably going to be talking about it for a whole month because they need to relitigate something that this guy was going to get up there and say, I plead the Fifth Amendment. So you're going to make these people going to make these videos. They're going to make these commercials and stuff. We held Dr. Fauci accountable. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You could have. You had the chance. But many of the people that are in that were in there probably aren't in right now. But they let him get away with it. They let him get away with it. Just like Jason said. They could have stopped him. They could have said no. Congress could have said no. The White House could have said no. Anybody, the media could have said no. Most of us were saying no. And we were getting penalized and deplatformed and removed when we said no. Because we were upsetting the apple cart. It's like, wait a minute. The stuff that Jason was just talking about, dude, it takes a while to come up with a vaccine. You just can't Tabitha Stevens bewitched a vaccine and then it's going to be okay. Especially when the thing is mutating every week. I used to say, how are they coming up with a vaccine when, the vaccine that they're coming up for was 2 weeks ago. This thing is mutated in another week. So it's like, how, and then you don't even do an alpha and a beta on it. You just put it out there.
Well, that was the scam of the whole thing is that, and the way China was acting really it had me concerned. I remember the first time when they were talking about it, like, seriously, when it went from like conspiracy theory to, okay, here's the thing, it's really serious. I remember Jen and I went to the dog park and we like had our hand sanitizer and we're like, can I don't know if I can touch the gate. What if somebody else touched the gate? I still remember that feeling of like, wow, because there is a very real possibility in our lifetime that we will see what they sold us. Like, I mean, that's possible. And
That's why I didn't take it.
what's that?
That's why I didn't take it, because I was like, yeah, 5 years down the road, people gonna be having horns out in front of their head and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I mean the fatality or the danger of the virus. Like we could have that. Like the Spanish flu could come back in some version that's difficult. And I mean what they did with Warp Speed is they just sped up the approval process to, like, all this stuff's being developed. I mean, you know, now gain of function is a hot talking point. Um you know, part of the lower loomer going into Ukraine that's kind of brought up those labs. I mean, folks, there are black op lab sites out there that are mutating these viruses and they're coming up with treatments for the mutated virus. And there are bad actors in the world that are trying to weaponize these viruses. Like, I mean, that's not conspiracy theory. That's confirmed. So there is. So when they came to Trump and, you know, whatever data they showed him, you know, he believed like, holy cow, this could be the Spanish flu again. And then he acted on that. And I think at whatever point it's like, wait a second, you know, all of a sudden every force in the universe was going against that. And yeah, but I mean, I think the American people saw through it. I mean, if we didn't go so idiotic about mail-in ballots in 2020, I think Trump probably wins, you know.
Some of us knew about it.
A lot of people knew.
Well, if it was a lot, because a lot of people kept wearing those masks. So
well, you had to, or you couldn't go anywhere.
Well, you know, weren't there places that you didn't have to wear a mask?
There was a few outposts, but not many. I remember too, it was so funny.
Shut down too, didn't they?
Yeah, I remember too, it was funny. We walked into Walmart for the first time, and you know, we're in Minnesota, so there's a fair number of lefties. We're like, oh God, we got to wear a mask, and we ordered them, and you know, we had the pull-up ones that are like the neck gaiters. And I remember walking in, and there was some dude that went to the Apple table, and he took down his mask, and he's sniffing an apple, and he was a lefty, you know. And I'm like, God, these people are so stupid. Like, if this really is a thing, like the last thing you would do is take down your mask to smell an apple and then set it back on the table. It was comical.
I had a real cool one. I saw everybody wearing those regular white ones. I went on Amazon and found this one. Man, it was nice too. It was like a Darth Vader like type man. I was like, but again, I didn't go outside too much. I didn't really go anywhere. I stayed in. And
well, you couldn't, like they shut everything down.
Well, you know, people were still doing their little. Who was I talking to this morning? I forgot who I was talking to. Was I talking to you? No, you said it. That you could walk into a place and you had those the distance things.
Oh yeah, you had your stickers on the floor.
Yeah, man.
You had your arrows.
And that was great. That part was great. You know, I mean, you didn't have people breathing down your neck, waiting for your waiting on their order, and they 6 feet, man, 6 feet. No, but I mean, for me, I just think, and this is my conspiracy thing.
You got to get a hat.
This isn't going to serve. I mean, if Trump, now he already put out something already this morning. Hopefully, he doesn't continue to talk about it and stuff, because he still takes credit for saving the lives and stuff like. Okay, I mean, you know, that's what you want to do. You know, just don't go further. Just don't talk about it, but just don't do that, because the more you do it, then they're gonna crop that up and they're gonna serve it at election time. Basically, yeah, we litigating this stuff. Could have passed the SAVE Act, and they went on recess because they really don't care about the president. And that's another thing that that I've learned about the media. And what the media does is, if there's one person, if there's one, how Fetterman does it. If there's one Republican that comes out, this used to happen with John McCain all the time. They're like, oh, Republicans are having an issue with the president or what's that. And there's only one. There's only one. Like Massey. If it's Massey, oh, the Republicans are really in a groundswell. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's only a few. It's only a few.
Now you mentioned Fetterman. Did you see the video going around? Fetterman, I'm quoting from John Fetterman. I have a regret, and that is the theory that the virus could have emerged from a lab early on. That became a right-wing kind of theory, and I thought it made sense. Now there was a really advanced lab that was close by, and then you have this unknown virus. It became a very partisan thing, and now it seems more than ever that the theory could have come from the lab. I feel bad that it became a partisan issue.
Yeah, his political life is on a lifespan of a fly right now. He's
Yeah, what's going to happen in the Democrat Party, though? I mean, they've got all the communists that are taking over the party, and the corporate end, the Hillary end, the Pelosi end, like they're on the back foot. But normal people look at this Democrat socialism stuff, like Mandami's grocery stores and welfare for all and illegal aliens, and like there is a segment of the Democrat Party that really believes all this, and they're starting to metastasize and replicate. And as awful as Chuck Schumer is, I don't think Chuck Schumer really thinks it's a good idea to bring in a bajillion people from other countries with no vetting. And like, he might say it, he might give lip service, but he does that to stay in power. But now the real crazies they're taking power. So I'll be curious how they react to it.
Well, I thought, well, I mean, they're putting out alarms
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they're putting out alarms, but that should have happened after Bernie Sanders, after y'all platformed Bernie Sanders. This is one of those viruses, man. This is one of those viruses that has taken over, or that has worked its way because the host allowed to happen. And it's like, dude, you're walking around. Those young people that wanted Bernie are now older, and they're trying to get into Congress.
Right.
They're trying to get in. They saw, and I'll tell you this, once they get in and they get their hands on a couple of those committee chair seats, or once they start getting into the position where they control stuff, the Democrats are out. Believe that. I'm telling you right now, I might not be around for it, but the Democrats are out. And the reason why they're out is because of how they were treated with Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, and how bad they made Bernie Sanders look for the 2016 election. That's like 10 years ago. They haven't forgot that. And it's like, I mean, now I would think, because to me, I think maybe some MAGA people have forgotten what, not all, but I think some MAGA people have forgotten about how the Republicans have did Trump in 2016.
How about how they did the American people for 20 years?
Yeah. Well, Yeah. So, um, yeah.
But I mean, my point is, in this election will be a pretty big turning point. You're going to have, you know, you look at the squad, and here's a question that I'll ask the audience: if the squad were in charge of Congress, if they were in charge of the government, do you think they would extend the same grace to conservatives that conservatives extend to them? And I don't think so. I mean, I think if you put Mandami in charge of America, like I don't think it's funny, these takeovers that are happening, and you're starting to see it in England when the Muslims take, like they'll go out and say, "Oh, religious liberty, that's why we get to have all these things," and then when the Muslims take power in a city or whatnot in the UK, they suddenly say, "Well, no, now we're just going to we're going to have you all follow Muslim law," and you'll be like, "Wait a second, like I thought." You know, the same grace that we extend a minority group in America, religious or whatever, they when they get power, they don't extend that. And
I haven't seen a whole lot of grace.
and the
I was thinking about what you said about extending grace. I haven't seen a whole lot of grace extended to AOC and them and stuff. And granted, is because when you come with that type of thought pattern that is so different from what Congress is supposed to be, why should anybody give anybody grace when they're trying to destroy the, not throwing it at you, I'm just throwing it out there. Why should anybody give anybody grace when they're trying to destroy the tenets of what the Constitution is all about? So that I haven't seen any grace given to them.
you don't think we're giving grace to Somali migrants that are taking over Minneapolis?
Not
You don't
now.
think we're giving grace to are you kidding me? None of them are going to jail. You don't think we're extending grace to
They're getting kicked out though, right?
No.
They're not getting kicked out.
No. Where have you been, dude?
I've been here, dude. I mean,
like, no, that's the point.
Wait. I'm sorry. The Haitians have been. Oh, yeah, good. The Haitians getting kicked out.
They're still not removed.
Well,
we've ended their temporary.
That's not on the Haitians. That's on ICE, I guess. Right? That's on.
I can't do this, dude.
You know,
are you kidding me?
That's on the Tommy Lahren came out, and that's why I said on Monday. Tommy Lahren came out. I was like, why are they like feeling good about 350,000 people being? They were talking about mass deportations.
How many of these ICE deportations have
deportations?
How many of these ICE protesters have been arrested like January 6ers and prosecuted? Like none of them.
A few, haven't they? A few, and they got out. They didn't stay in jail long, but they got out, didn't they?
No BLM people of significance were.
BLM.
None of them were arrested like January 6th.
I could have swore people out in LA were arrested for what they were doing.
There was a handful. It's not anywhere near the scope.
A handful. I mean, I could have swore that they were arresting people around for what they were doing to ICE, and a couple people got killed up there in Minnesota. So I mean, it's like I mean, but then again, I understand.
They just convicted a girl for using the N-word in Rochester, Minnesota, after her bag was broken into and stolen.
Aren't they having an N-word march up there?
There's all kinds of protests.
I saw that, and I was like, wow, okay. I mean, if that's what they want to do, you know, they're having an N-word march up there. And when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, that looks like
nobody should go to jail in the year 2026 for using the N-word.
No, they shouldn't. No, I mean, but whenever I see it, I block people because I ain't into that mess. You want to use it, that's on you. But you ain't gonna use it around me because I think it's disrespectful. I've always thought.
Do you block the black people that use it?
I block anybody that uses it. Everybody. black people, yellow people, brown people, white people. I block anybody to use it. I don't care because I mean it's wrong to me. That's probably why I'm not into rap. I don't. I mean I'm more into jazz. I'm more into R&B. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not into all that mess. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
Thank
an
you, Daddy.
outcropping.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for, and thank you to my church for, even though they might not have been conservative at the time. Thank you for giving me the ability to understand how people are sick and how people can do the right thing and should do the right thing and not give that type of stuff a platform. So, yeah, thank you.
I'm just saying, if you don't think we're extending far too much grace to the communist, socialists, to the whole Rainbow Coalition, and you think that when they get power, they're going to extend that same grace to Christians, I would.
I don't think they are. I don't think. That's why I said before you said something. That's why I say when they get in, the Democrats are gone.
Right.
Because they haven't been extended grace. They haven't been, and they damn sure haven't been extended grace by Fox News and Republicans.
You're saying we should have been nicer to the communists?
Extending grace is nice. Not extending grace is not nice, right? Or do you know something I don't know? Because when you extend grace, you're saying, "Oh, come on, I'm thank you. Come on in." That's extending grace. When you're not extending grace, get that freaking socialist crap out of here. Take that communist stuff out of here. You communist. You get out of here. You go to hell. That's mainly what a whole lot of people on our side, and they don't do that on Fox that way. But like when I believe that Fox News, y'all been watching me. I believe Fox News had a whole lot to do with the rise of AOC. They didn't extend her grace. They socialists. This socialist out of New York. The socialist. Her name wasn't even AOC. It was socialist. I was like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all trying to? Her numbers kept going up on Instagram because people were starting to feel sorry for her, bad for her, stuff like that. I was like, wow. And nobody's seeing this. And nobody's seeing it. Okay, that's why I don't see grace the way that now I do believe some of them are lying when they're saying that they're getting death threats, but that's me. That's my opinion. But they're saying that they're getting death threats so that they can get security and stuff to walk around thing. I think that's BS. But no, I don't think I don't see us. I don't see many. I don't see. And another thing, I don't see grace. The media didn't even want AOC on. Still till today, how many interviews is she doing on MSNBC and Fox News? She still ain't doing nothing. Ilhan Omar still ain't doing no interviews on the major network. Oh no. Ilhan Omar they might, but they really don't bring AOC on too much. But I don't know. That's why I say just if they get in to the Democrat side,
well, they're in.
If they take over and get most of the big seats and stuff, you remember the Blue Dog Democrats?
Yeah, we'll have the commie Democrats.
The Democrats kicked out the conservative Democrats a long time ago. But actually, it wasn't even a long time ago. It was within the last 30 years. The conservative Democrats, who were mainly Republicans, but they voted Democrat, they got kicked out. The moderate Democrats, basically all of them gone because the radical Democrats took over. Now you have these socialist people coming in, the Bernie Sanders side. When they get enough, the regular Democrats are gone. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'll stick to my story. Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah, I'm saying the communist takeover of the Democrat Party is getting out of hand for them. They're calling it Democrat socialism, but like when Mandami released his new grocery store plan, the city's paying for the stores, the city's paying for the taxes, the city's paying for the rent. They came out and said they're going to sell select goods, so
saw that.
like staple items, 30% below cost.
Yep.
That's going to run private grocers out of business. And now it's just in those neighborhoods, it's just going to be city owned grocery stores. So now they can call it socialism all they want, but communism is when the government owns means of production. I mean, this is their plan. They're talking about and there's videos already coming out. They're trying to run landlords out of town. They're rent capping them so that you can't increase the rent. And everybody's like, oh, this is great. And then they're increasing enforcement on conditions of properties. Well, if you're a landlord, like if you don't have enough money to fix these things up and you can't raise your rent, you're forced to sell. At that point, it gets owned by the city or a co-op or something. So now you have government owned and housing. Like, this is not conspiracy theory. This is, I mean, go read Marx. Marx wrote about this extensively, that socialism is only a transitional period from capitalist to communist. Socialism is not a final state, by the guy that kind of invented it and what the modern people talk about. It's it's pretty terrifying. And the fact that we're still allowing them to walk around, I mean, there should be complete blocks emptied in Minneapolis where the illegal Somalis are. And we covered a lot on our Friday shows.
What's taking them so long? What's taking them so long? Is it the Minnesota government that is stopping it from happening, or is it what's taking them so long?
It kind of ties into the flock camera conversation we had yesterday. We don't need flock cameras because we know who the criminals are. The problem is there is no communal feeling to punish these criminals. If we just punish the small percentage of people that commit the crimes in a real and meaningful way, it would happen. But like in Minnesota, I mean, you saw what happened when they started deporting illegals. They allowed thousands of people, like local government allowed all these protesters out, blowing whistles when they're trying to apprehend an illegal. Like, think of that. You got law enforcement going out trying to grab an illegal, and you got 50 people that follow them, organized on Telegram, blowing whistles. And like we shouldn't allow that. Like, all those people should have been locked up. And there are not enough people mad enough to lock them up. And if Donald Trump tries to do it, like, there'd be mutiny in the street. So sadly it's going to get worse until enough people get fed up.
No, I didn't think that I didn't think that ICE and President Trump right now were worried about the backlash. I mean,
I think they were. I mean, when they were doing the operations in Minnesota, two
well,
people.
Yeah. But before that, they really didn't care.
No, when they had Greg Bevito, however you pronounce his name, when he was running it, like, they were being pretty aggressive. But I mean, if they would have kept up operations like they did in Minnesota, you would have seen tens of hundreds of deaths, and there just wasn't the political will to do that because the people that were protesting and disrupting, like, there was no consequence for that happening. The local prosecutors, I mean, you could literally go out, ICE is apprehending a criminal, and you could scream, blow a whistle, call your friends, get a crowd to disrupt them. And in Minnesota, they won't charge those people. But some lady at a playground calls a kid that stole from her the N-word, and they prosecute her. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah.
And until we have the
and that happened up there in Minnesota.
Yeah,
man, maybe y'all need to come down and spend some time with me, because it's scary. Because it sounds scary up there. We're getting ready to roll out of here. The Wizard is going to be doing his thing this weekend.
I think Monday the beard will be gone. Jen tells me Sunday night when we get home from the wedding, or Saturday night when we get home from the wedding, I'll be trimming my beard. I'm trying to let me go like handlebars or something. Like I think that I've grown this thing out pretty good, so I'm thinking like I could do a couple. I could braid it or something. But yeah, Jen's not.
You can tell her, look, there's a Viking wedding coming up in October, and
we have another wedding in August we got to go to. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Although I do have to admit, I'll be glad when the hair goes, because like my hair is so thick. I've got my hat on the farthest thing and it barely contains the afro.
Close. All right, Jason, give me some last thoughts. Let's get out of here.
All right. Well, folks, first of all, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, two clowns, and we hope you had fun. I especially like the chat. We got to figure out getting the chat on the screen again, Wayne. Like, I love seeing all the chats. It just fills my heart with joy. People saying hi to each other. Second thought, and this will be tough, and I encouraged everybody yesterday, like this Fauci thing, don't get sucked into it. Like, read the stuff. Review it. If you haven't checked out his diary, I would encourage you. You will have the same feeling I do, that he needs the wood chipper. But the sad reality is I don't think we're going to get the wood chipper. So, if you can't deal with that mentally, then be prepared, for that. And then final thought is go do something fun this weekend. I'm married. I get to perform a wedding ceremony for one of my best friends. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a room full of Asians and white people. The Asians will be funny because a lot of them don't speak English, and we're going to be all walking around dressed up like a Lord of the Rings. So it's going to be fantastic. But yeah, and 100 days till midterms. And right now it's not looking great.
Depends, because CNN was just talking about the Democrats don't look like they're in a good position. Harry Enton said the Democrats.
Well, people hate the Democrats.
Yeah.
But the Republicans, like, you just won't get enough Republicans out there because they're sick of them not doing anything. Like, what does it take to implement Donald Trump's agenda? I mean, think about, like, right now, they're like, oh, this is great. These people are keeping the Senate open. Like, think of how low the bar needs to be for that to be like a win. It's incredible. So, yeah. So on the left, and the left is mad because they're not doing enough communist stuff. Like, and so it's just.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They are. And it's like I think they see this is almost like a TV show. I think they see their end coming. I really do. I really think that they see their end coming. And they're trying their best to hold off on this, on communist socialist people coming up. But,
it's funny, Todd and I will be talking about that Friday on Rumble Only. It's
and looking at those kids, man, those kids are pissed off. Those kids are super pissed off. They felt like they got their stuff stolen in 2016. And how could you not see that? How could you not see that? Number one, I wouldn't have allowed Bernie Sanders to be on my platform. I mean, even Republicans like, wait, what happened? Yep. They let Bernie, but he's a self-proclaimed socialist.
Yeah, he's not even a Democrat. He's independent or whatnot, who caucuses with the.
Yeah. And dude, whatever. What I mean, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, I got another VA appointment tomorrow, but
all Monday.
We're still working out the shingles thing. As I said, basically everything's kind of cleared up. As you know, this week I've been kind of going like this, so just to make sure. But for the most part, everything right here is cleared up. Just continue to take the nerve pills right now for this. And and we're going to try to get some.
Can we have predictions for what random medical condition Wayne has next?
Well, with all that stuff happening in Minnesota, I don't know, man. You might have something in that beard. You come back, you look like Kojak on Monday. No hair.
Oh no, I'll be nice and trimmed up.
You look like a little baby.
Oh yeah.
You look like a. You look.
I think I could have a Santa Claus beard if I let it go. I'm just saying.
Probably could. You probably could. But dude, you have got. Wait, hold on. You have got to dye that hair too. You got to make it happen.